So hey students, today we are going to do some MCQs from digestion and absorptions. Okay, these will be the questions and we will do all these questions. Okay, so the first one, the major component of food are, 1 minute, let me change the color, are carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Can you see? Is it visible? The process of conversion of complex and large food molecules into small and simple absorbable form is called digestion. Teeth which are present in sockets are called tethecodent. Teeth which appear twice in life are called diphyodont. 1 minute. The tongue is freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of the oral cavity by frenulum. The upper surface of tongue has small projections and some of which bear taste buds are called papillae. Okay. The upper surface of tongue has small projections called papillae, some of which have bear taste buds. Common passage for food air is called pharynx. A cartilaginous flap called epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the glottis, opening of which during swallowing. The stomach located in upper left portion of the abdominal cavity. Three major parts are cardiac portion in which the esophagus opens and fundic region in which pyloric portion in which opens the first part of the small intestine. Okay. The cartilage, 1 minute. The cartilaginous small intestine is distinguished into upper three regions as C-shaped duodenum and a long coiled middle portion called jejunum and a highly coiled called ileum. Here A is incisor, B is canine, C is premolar and D is molar and E is socket of the jaw. Okay. Thus, 1 minute. The stomach located in the upper left portion. Oh, we have done this question. The duodenum glands are present in submucosa. The innermost layer lining the lumen of alimentary canal is mucosa. Mucosal layer form irregular folds called rugae or villi. Small finger-like foldings called villi in the small intestine. Villi are supplied with network of capillaries and a lymph lacteal vessels called A is serosa, B is inner circular, C is submucosa, D is mucosa and E is lumen. Okay. The submucosa of alimentary canal is made up of loose connective tissue. Here, 1 minute. Okay. Here, what we gonna see is A. Name the cells in the mucosal epithelium that helps in lubrication is goblet cells. How many pairs of salivary glands are found in human beings? It's 3. Okay. Name the 3 cell types of salivary glands found in human beings: parotid, sublingual and submandibular. Name the largest gland of the body. Liver is the largest gland of our body. Name the structural and functional unit of liver. Hepatic lobules. Bile is stored in a gallbladder. Here A is gallbladder and B is pancreas and C is duodenum. First A, gallbladder helps in concentration of the bile juice. Gallbladder helps in concentration of the bile juice, and This is heterocrine gland, which is pancreas, and smallest part of the small intestine is duodenum. Okay. The bile does not the bile and the pancreatic juice opens together into the duodenum at the common hepatopancreatic duct, which is guarded by a sphincter called sphincter of Oddi, which is a very important part, sphincter of Oddi. Okay. The exocrine part of the pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, and endocrine part secretes hormones. What are the two major functions of buccal cavity? Mastication of food and swallowing of food. Okay. Mucus in saliva helps in lubrication and adhering of masticated food in particles into a bolus. Okay. The gastroesophageal sphincter control the passage of food into the stomach. Name the enzymes found in saliva. Salivary amylase. Salivary amylase Salivary amylase converts starch into maltose. Starch into maltose. Okay. The chemical process of digestion begins in oral cavity. Mixture of food and saliva in oral cavity is called bolus. Name the cells found in gastric gland which secrete the proenzyme pepsinogen. Chief cell, zymogen or peptic cells. Zymogens are inactive. Zymo, zymo, 1 minute. Zymogens are inactive. Zymogens inactive enzymes. Okay. The factor essential for absorption of vitamin B12 is castle intrinsic factor. The mixture of food and gastric juice in stomach is called chyme. How pepsinogen is converted into pepsin in stomach in presence of concentration of HCl. Okay. What we gonna see is pepsinogen into pepsin requires HCl at pH of 1.8. Okay. This is the reaction. Name the enzyme which helps in digestion of proteins in stomach. It's pepsin. What is the function of pepsin in stomach? Converts proteins into proteases and peptones. Name the inactive enzymes present in pancreatic juice. Trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidases, amylases, lipases and nucleases. Okay. These are very important. Very important. Okay. Name the 1 minute. Name the non-digestive enzymes which helps in activation of trypsinogen. It's enterokinase. Okay. Enterokinase helps in conversion of trypsinogen into trypsin, which in other ways activates chymotrypsinogen procarboxypeptidases. Okay. Enterokinase is secreted by intestinal mucosa. Intestinal juice is called succus entericus. Complete the following reactions. Proteins, peptones, proteases are converted into dipeptides by trypsinogen and chymotrypsinogen. Polysaccharides and starch into carboxypeptidases. Polysaccharides into disaccharides by carboxypeptidases. Fats into diglycerides by pancreatic amylase, and which is further converted into monoglycerides. Nucleic acids into nucleotides by nucleases. Okay, which is further converted into nucleosides. Dipeptides into amino acids by dipeptidase. Maltose into glucose plus glucose by maltase, and lactose by lactase is converted into glucose plus galactose. Sucrose is converted into glucose plus fructose by sucrase. Nucleotides are converted into nucleosides by nucleotidase, and which are nucleosides are further converted into sugar plus bases by nucleosidases. Di and monoglycerides are converted into fatty acids plus glycerol by lingual lipase. Okay, di and monoglycerides into fatty acid plus glycerol by intestinal lipase, nucleotides into nucleosides by nucleosidase, which are further converted into sugar and bases. Maximum absorption of digestion of food takes place in jejunum. Name the process by which fructose and some amino acids are absorbed in a small intestine. Facilitated diffusion. You can learn it by 1 minute. I have a trick. You can learn it by as you know, fructose start with F. Okay, F for fructose and F for facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion. Okay, so one more thing is that oxantic or parietal cells secretes HCl, and peptic or chief cells secrete pepsinogen. Okay, so this is what I want to let you know. Fatty acids and glycerol are not absorbed in food. Why? Because they are insoluble in water. Transport of water depends upon osmotic gradient. Fill in the blanks and complete the following paragraph. Fatty acids and glycerol, being insoluble, cannot be absorbed into the blood. They are first incorporated into small droplets called micelles. Micelles is very important. Micelles, which are moved into the intestine mucosa. They are reformed into very small proteins called fat globules called the chylomicrons. Chylomicrons are what? You know. 1 minute. Let me. These are protein and these are fat. Makes a chylomicron. Chylomicron. Okay, so outside is protein and inside is fat, which are 1 minute, which are transported into the lymph vessel or lacteals in the villi. The lymph vessels ultimately release the absorbed substances into blood capillaries. The absorbed substances finally reach the tissue which utilize them for their activities. The process is called assimilation. The liver is affected. Skin and eye turn yellow due to the deposition of bile pigments. It's the symptom of jaundice. Okay. The reflex action is controlled by vomiting center present in the medulla. Feeling of nausea precedes vomiting, and vomit center is present in medulla. You have to learn. The abnormal frequency of the bowel movement and increased liquidity of the fecal discharge is known as diarrhea. It reduces the absorption of food. Is diarrhea. The feces are retained within the rectum and the bowel movements occur irregularly. It's constipation. In the condition, the food is not properly discharged, leading to a feeling of fullness. Is indigestion. Why are villi present in intestine and not in stomach? Food is completely digested in the intestine but not in stomach. What are the basic layers of wall of alimentary canal? Serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. Okay. So that's the end of this lesson, digestion and absorption, and next time we will do breathing and exchange of gases. So all the best for Neet 2021. All the best.